What's happening, guys? I'm Kobe Chowan here with Craig McCoy, and welcome to our latest Tuesday training, where every week we bring to you a live training from lead gen and AI all the way to business planning and goal setting.
You have the new version and the old version. We collaborate to make it awesome.
If you want to join and jump on the next Tuesday training, join our school platform below. It's completely free. Click the link below, and we'll see you there.
All right, Tim, do you want to jump into market? And then I have some stuff to kind of go over with you guys on what to do in a slow market and kind of want some of your guys' opinions as well on what you guys do. I know for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking a ton about AI and all that is out there in real estate. And it's a bit overwhelming at times. And so really wanted to kind of like pull it all the way back in and give you guys just some like very actionable items that you could do like over the next 10 days or 7 days, 10 things you could do over the next 7 days to help try to generate some leads. So I will jump into that after Tim goes into the market update. But yeah, Tim, if you want to start out.
Sounds good. Good morning, everybody. Usual stuff is kind of driving rates. Iran, obviously, in the whole confrontation is kind of adding and taking away on a daily basis. So the ceasefire is kind of hanging on by a thread. So I think the U.S. is going to start maybe combat operations, but I guess President Xi of China later this week is supposed to get involved. So maybe that will help. But oil prices and yields are both higher this week as a result. Today, the inflation report came in hotter. CPI is up really because of energy and food costs due to the Strait of Hormuz closure. So that's not helping rates. There's a treasury auction today, a 10-year treasury. So if that goes strong, that hopefully will help rates because the yields are high right now. So maybe there's some good appetite for that. That pushes rates down due to the bump up we had kind of yesterday and today. As we talked about last week, rates would be a lot higher than they were today. 2023, we'd probably be looking about 7 and 5/8 based on spreads being higher. 2024, we're probably at 7 1/4. Even last year at this time, if based on spreads, we'd probably be over 7%. So the good news is, based on where the market is today, conventional loans, excuse me, conventional loans 30-year fixed is about 6.5% at no points. At a point cost, we're at 6 1/4. For government loans, FHA, VA at no points, we're at about 5.875, and for that 1 point cost, we're at 5.625. So we're still hanging in there, all things considered, with kind of all the stuff going on behind the market right now. So what to watch for kind of coming up is hopefully President Xi and Trump can maybe get together on something and work some things out and maybe get this Iran thing behind us and help our rates come down and gas prices. Pre-approved buyers are really in control. So anybody out there you have you're working with, get them in front of myself, Bill, Eddie, or whomever, and we'll be happy to make sure they get in a good position to get an offer accepted. And that's about it. We're here to help you.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
Any questions for Tim? And Bill, you got any good stuff for us?
Sure. I thought I would talk today a little bit about interest-only loans and 40-year fixed loans. So, we're all used to conventional 30-year fixed mortgages, principal and interest payment. That's kind of the standard. But we do have some other options to try and help lower payments for people, which can be a good alternative when you're just trying to get in the door, or if you're trying to help somebody qualify for a higher purchase price. So with interest only, usually the rate is going to be a little bit higher than it is on a conventional 30 fixed. So about 0.5% to 0.75%. But I just kind of did a little example here. If you had a 30-year fixed $1 million purchase with 20% down, 6.125% 30-year fixed, the payment's going to be $48.61, the principal and interest. An interest-only loan at 6.75, so that's 0.5% higher on the rate. The same terms, the payment is going to be $4,500. So it's $361 less per month, even though the rate is a bit higher. So, you can buy some points, you can get that down, but it can make a big difference just in terms of helping somebody's comfortability getting into a house. And if they are worried about, I'm not paying principal and interest on this loan, the way that we address that, and usually when we're going to use an interest-only loan, the point is that rates are kind of high right now anyway, and the expectation is that you're going to refinance out of this loan at some point into a more traditional fixed rate mortgage. So, um, if you've ever looked at, if any of you guys have a mortgage yourself and you've ever looked at your mortgage statement, especially right when you get the loan, the vast majority of your payment is going towards interest anyway. So you're just paying a little bit towards principal, and as time goes, your balance starts to go down. So less money is paid towards interest and more towards your principal. But typically, it takes 22 years to pay off half of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage by making the payments. So the principal balance is front loaded. So that's how that conversation goes. One thing to note, though, is that when you're qualifying somebody on an interest only loan, they're not going to, the underwriter is going to look at it. They're still going to, they want to make sure that they could qualify for the 30-year payment, right? So we have another workaround for that can help people qualify for a bit more. And in that case, what we would do is a 40-year fixed rate loan. So what that does, it stretches out the term of the loan, the payback term. The payment's a little bit higher than interest only, but it's lower than the 30-year fixed payment. And with that lower pay, they'll qualify based on that lower payment, and that can help somebody get into maybe a slightly more expensive home, or qualify for a bit more than what they would otherwise on a traditional 30-year fixed. So just a couple of, I don't know, in case you've heard about interest only loans, or you've heard about these 40-year fixed loans and didn't know much about them, I wanted to go over that a little bit and just give you a feel for how it works.
Are you doing a lot of 40-year fixed loans right now? Or are most people still trying to just be that traditional 30-year?
Typically a lot of times the 40-year will be paired with the interest only. So what they'll do is it'll be a 40-year fixed loan. The first 10 years will be interest only, and they qualify based on the 30-year payment. So it helps somebody get interest only. And that's usually how we do that. But we do some, these are non-QM loans. So, a lot of time people with higher credit and who make enough money just want to do the traditional 30-year fixed loan. The interest rate's a little bit lower. So that makes sense. But, there are other people who, particularly investors, who are less interested in paying off their principal, and, understand that they're probably not going to have the loan very long, and they may not even have the home very long. So keeping their out-of-pocket expenses low is important. So, we do them. It's not as common as the 30 fix, but we definitely do them.
Hey, Bill, quick question for you. In that comparison, you said both had the same term, right? Like a 30-year fix and then a 30-year
Yes,
interest.
they were. Yeah, these were both, 20% down on $1 million purchase. So $800,000 loan amount.
And a
So
30-year term for both?
no. The 30-year at 6.125%
Uh-huh.
had a payment of 48.61. The interest only at a rate of 6.75%, which
Those
is
are way shorter, right?
more. Well, no, excuse me. It's in terms of just like the overall term of the loan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
overall term of the loan.
no. Typically it's either a 30-year term or a 40-year term on an interest only loan.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
so the way,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, I should have explained. So the way that it works is that the first 10 years of the mortgage have the interest only payment option, and you don't have to
Mhm.
pay interest only either. That's another thing that we let people know, like, hey, this gives you the option to make this interest only payment. If you want to start paying on principal, you can certainly do that. It's
Okay.
not going to stop you, but yeah, it's still going to be a 30-year term or a 40-year term on the loan. First 10 years have interest only available.
Got it. Yeah, we actually saw that a couple times this year. I had never really seen an interest-only loan. Like Kobe and I saw a couple offers come in with that, but they were shorter terms, like 10-year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure what's more favorable. I guess it was better for their situation.
Were
But
those commercial?
no, it was residential.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they'll do it on an ARM program too, where it'd be like a 10-year ARM, and the first 10 years are interest only, and then it is variable after that
Got
for
it.
30 years. But
I can see what the value is in proposing that to a client. Like if they want to pay less, they don't plan on holding the property for too long, assuming they sell or refi within, 5 to 10 years. But you said the qualification process was similar. Is it like if you get approved for a 30-year fixed, you can pretty much get approved for an interest-only loan, or is it like a step above that? Or what is that
um,
qualification process?
yeah, no, it is. It's very similar, and that
Okay.
that should be the case. Yeah, I mean, The only thing on interest only is if it's a 30-year fixed loan with a 10-year interest only term, some
Mhm.
lenders are going to qualify based on a 20-year mortgage payment, so that makes it a little tougher. So usually we pair it with the 40-year term. So yes, so in that case, then yes, if they qualified for the 30-year, they would also qualify for the interest only.
Okay, cool. That's great to know.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Is there any penalty if you're doing the 40-year, the 10-year arm of interest only and you pay more? Is there penalty with that?
No, no. So yeah, so you're asking about a prepayment penalty,
Yeah.
and really on I mean, if it's a loan on an investment property, we can set up a loan with a prepay penalty if the client wants to do that, is open to it. So it's only allowed on investment properties, at least here in California, and I think probably nationwide, honestly. And some states don't even allow it at all. But on a primary residence, you can't have a prepayment penalty.
Yeah.
But but the prepayment penalties exist on the investment loans. So if you want no prepayment penalty, the interest rate might be 0.5% higher. So if somebody's willing to take a prepayment penalty for, I mean, usually if I'm doing them, I'll do a 1 year prepayment penalty, which helps a little bit, but it still gives them flexibility to get out of the loan. Most people are going to keep the loan for at least a year. But if they take a 3 year prepay penalty or a 5 year prepay penalty, then they'll get a much lower interest rate. But the downside on that, if you sell the home or you refinance it before that prepay penalty term is over, you're going to get hit. Typically, it's 6 months worth of interest is what they're going to charge you. So,
Copy.
in that example, $4,500 was the interest payment. So 4,500 times 6, that's a $27,000, extra you have to pay when you pay off that loan. So we're always going to try to make sure we have a good feel for what the client's plans are going forward before even proposing a prepay penalty.
Thank you.
I never realized prepayment penalties were that high. That's a lot of months of extra interest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and there are different ones. A lot of the commercial loans, they do it based on the percentage of the loan amount. So there'll be a 5 year prepayment penalty, and if you pay it off in the first year, it's 5% of the loan amount. If it's the second year, it's 4%. So the prepay penalty amount gets reduced as you get deeper into the loan, which is kind of a nicer way of going about it. And it makes more
Yeah.
sense, really. The purpose of it from the lender's perspective is like, hey, if we give you this loan, we're expecting to collect interest for a certain period of time. That's how we're going to earn our money on this. And if you pay it off after 6 months, then we've basically just spent all the money on the staffing. They pay us, they they don't make any money when people turn around and pay off these loans really fast. So
If there's a prepayment penalty, does that mean the loan officer does not have to reimburse the lender if they refi within like 6 months? Just curiosity question.
no, that's a different thing. That's an early payoff penalty.
Yeah.
So yeah. If somebody takes a loan and then refinances after like 3 months, typically the lender is going to come back and they're going to make us pay our commission back. The way that the contracts are set up between the link and the lenders, we have to sign an agreement saying that, if this happens, then we forfeit our compensation. But if we get past that early payoff period and then somebody decides to pay that loan off, it's no hit on us. The client is the one who's going to end up paying that penalty.
Hey, Bill, another quick question for you. In this kind of market, like more of a buyer's market, we obviously see like buy downs as more common, more
Mhm.
accepted by sellers, kind of a way to get your buyer a better deal. Why is it that a buyer can't pay for that themselves? Why does it have to come from the lender or the seller?
Um, that's a good question. I'm not fully sure about the why, but I can give you a little bit of a understanding on that. So the buy down, the way like a 2-1 buy down or a 1-0 buy down, the way that works is basically you have an interest rate. Let's just say the rate is 6.5%. The payment is $5,000, right? With the 2-1 buy down, your payment's going to be $4,000 in the first year, and it's going to be $4,500 in the second year, just for example's sake, right? So the cost of that buy down is literally the amount of monthly savings that you're going to get over that 2 year period. So if you have that money already, um, you could, in theory, just set it aside and use it to subsidize your payment every month, as
Got it.
opposed to giving it to the bank and having them hold on to it and them subsidize the payment. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
If
it does. So it's savings essentially. So why would a buyer pay for what they're already saving? Like that, it just has to come from a
yeah,
different source.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. It would just be like them giving the money to the bank
All right.
to apply towards their payment every month instead of them just setting it aside and you know using it only for the mortgage
Yeah,
as
that
they
makes
go.
sense. Tim,
Yeah.
I feel like you had wanted to chime in here.
No, to answer your question, Andrew, and it's an FHA kind of conventional rule that buyers can't do temporary buy down. It's just they rather than do permanent, so it's really just regulatory agencies say no, they can't do temporary buy down. It's not
Okay.
allowed.
So
Yeah.
if it's temporary, it has to come from a different source.
It's going to be either from the seller or the agents or a
Okay.
builder, an interested party, but it can't be the buyer doing it on their own, unfortunately.
Got it. I mean, Bill, what you said also just makes perfect sense. Like, I'm sure everyone here knows or has heard of a buy down, possibly used one, possibly gotten one for their buyer. But that essentially just reduces your rate temporarily, makes them pay less, and it's savings up front that has to be paid
Right.
for by another source. And we typically see that with people negotiating with the seller. So the seller pays for it, just as, to sweeten the pot, sweeten the deal, make it more attractive for the buyer.
For sure. And and a lot of times what we'll do with these too is that somebody wants that 2-1 buy down program, and so they'll say, okay, I'm willing to pay $500,000 for this house, but I'm going to offer 515 and then ask for a
Right.
credit back for the buy down. And that almost seems like the same thing, but it's actually a little different because you're essentially, in that case, you're allowing the buyer to finance that extra money.
Right.
It's going to cause a higher loan amount because you're doing a higher purchase price, but it's not like they're coming out of pocket with that money to set aside. So we do, typically when I'm doing these buy down programs, that's usually how it ends up going. It's like, okay, this is how much the client wants to pay for the property, and so we say, okay, this is our offer. We want this
Yeah.
buy down. This is essentially what we're offering you is, this reduced amount. But yeah, but that works out for the buyer because it's not like they're using their own cash to fund that. They're financing the reduced payment.
Yeah, that is, I think, a lot more common, Bill. I think we've done a couple of those with you, with like
Yeah.
Robbie and some other clients.
Yep.
Paying a little bit more, you're financing those savings or you're financing that discount by paying more, but paying less upfront.
And then
Right.
the
I'm
listing agent
doing that now for a
doesn't
client on
tell
a
the seller.
purchase, and then on the selling side, I had a seller, an agent whose seller was not getting something moved, and I told her about the buy down, some flyers for her, and she got a home in escrow just because I advertised that the seller could pay for the temporary buy down. And just that was enough to get some buyers off the wall to make it work out. So it can work for the buyer or for an agent as well. If you have a property that's not going, it's not a bad idea to talk to the seller about that. If they're having a property that's not moving, just give an extra incentive. And something that doesn't cost a lot of money, even for like a 1 year buy down. It's not a big deal. 2 year might be $10,000 on a $500,000 home, but the house is sitting there for a while. It might be something to talk to your sellers about.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about you, Tim. I've got some like pre-set up flyers. I'm sure you probably do too. So we can certainly provide those for your open houses or whatnot. And have a conversation with your seller too if you need help kind of explaining it.
If you're representing a buyer and asking for a buy down, I would tell the listing agent as well. Bill, if you remember the one where we were going back and forth on price and we put in a buy down to help kind of negotiate, and the
Bill, that was
listing
with Chris.
agent never realized it. And like we were 2 days away from closing. He's like, what the hell do you mean you put a buy down in there? Like,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it was for my brother.
Yeah.
It was for Chris.
Wait, that was actually an all-time story. There was like 10K in a buy down, and Kobe and I were representing this buyer. We didn't slip it in. We talked about it. This guy was just so busy. We had to talk to his assistant only. Like it's a higher up guy at Rodeo Realty, and he just didn't read the contract. We get like 2 days before closing, and he's like, "Wait a minute, my seller did not even notice this, didn't see this. It caused a whole issue." So if you are submitting buy downs, as Kobe is saying, make sure you communicate that even clearer than you think. Like make sure well understood by both sides.
And if you
Especially if the
receive an
agent is a
offer,
cocky asshole.
Yes, he was a cocky asshole. I think I talked to him. I only talked to him at the beginning, and then at the very end when the buy down was an issue. Everything else in between was his assistant. So it was a
Yeah.
lot of miscommunication. So just be careful out there with those kind of agents.
and if you're a listing agent and you have a deal and somebody asks for a buy down, calculate what that total is. Like
Okay. Or we can do
sometimes,
that for you. It's easy to
yeah,
do. Just yeah, it's based on 1 year versus 2 year. It's easy to do. It's just a concession like a seller credit, but just yeah, make sure it's not massive, obviously.
yeah.
I think TJ, I mean Sue, we talked about this yesterday. Anyone else who's got a listing that might not be moving right now or not getting as much interest, like this is something to consider. Usually we see it in the agent remarks. So on the MLS, you can plug it in, like seller might be open to credit, seller might be open to a buy down, things like that. I mean, TJ, your listing is in the, $1.9, $2 million range. Obviously, usually you get a little bit more qualified buyers, buyers with more cash in their pockets in that range, but it still might help, little things like that that could really move the needle for somebody. It's important to talk to Bill, talk to Tim, like get those kind of creative strategies that you can actually put out there to make that property more appealing. Maybe you can lead with that. Maybe your client is very open to things like that. And anyone who's coming through, you can, immediately tell them what kind of benefits or offerings you guys have. So just keep that in
Well,
mind. This market, you have to be creative.
and I mean, honestly, a lot of the buy downs I've done recently have been in like these higher dollar homes. A part of it is like, okay, if you're coming out of if you're selling a place that had a 3% interest rate that you got during the pandemic, and now you're buying a more expensive home at a more expensive interest rate, you see it doesn't matter if these people make a ton of money or not. You see them choke when they look at the payment, and so yeah, it's definitely something that we're doing on all levels. And actually, and then the other thing too is on a bigger loan like that, it can be a $1,500 a month savings or
Yeah.
something massive. So it definitely moves the needle.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys for clarifying that.
Any other questions for Bill or Tim? Sweet. All right. I just sent a link to what I'm going to go over if you guys want to save it for after the meeting. But as I mentioned today, kind of wanted to give you guys just some tips and tricks on what we typically do when market's slow. Um, I know the last couple of weeks, like I said, has been a lot of like AI. You could use AI for this, you could use AI for that, but like wanted to kind of take it back into just your more standard traditional real estate activities to help generate leads. Obviously, we can help with AI, and AI can help you automate some of this or make it easier. But wanted to just briefly kind of run through 10 things that I think anybody can do when it's a super slow market and to just kind of try to generate a little bit more leads. And then would love to hear from some of our agents. Maybe Sue could jump in or Dutton can and explain what they tend to do in slower markets. So some of this is going to sound not dumb, but like obvious. Uh, but everything is just kind of brief example of what it is and how Link can help you do it. So first thing, most standard one is just call your database. And so most agents overlook their actual database. And you're going to go try 20 different things and try to set up lead gen, try to set up your meta ads and your Google ads and funnels, and you feel like you have to do all of these other steps before you can actually start trying to generate leads. When usually the easiest lead is just sitting there right in front of you. It's picking up the phone, it's talking to a cousin, a friend of a friend, a family member, somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe it's a past client. Just calling them, checking in on them. How are they doing? Uh, that kind of ties me into number two. I think now would be a good time to kind of offer out weekly or monthly housing updates. I've never done this in the past, but I think it's kind of a good idea and it ties into our Tuesday trainings. And so every week, Tim's taken a ton of time to put together what's going on in the market, where are rates at. If you're doing a buy down, what would your rate be? What is causing these rate increases or decreases? Is now a good time to buy? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Everything that Bill and Tim are taking time to put together, you guys could be turning that around and passing it off to any potential buyers that you have. It's a kind of non-salesy way to get in front of people, even if it's somebody that mentioned buying in the past, like just reaching out and saying, hey, our brokerage does these weekly Tuesday trainings. I have couple of our senior loan officers that give us the market updates. Like, would you be interested in me passing these along to you, just even like as a text or as an email, if you're at all interested in just kind of seeing where the market's at. It's in my opinion, more of a personal way of reaching out to people, letting them know that you are on top of the market. And at the end of the day, it's really just going to spark conversation. And so as rates start to kind of come down and rates go up, people are going to have questions why that's happening. And if you guys are on here on these Tuesday trainings, hearing from Bill and Tim exactly what the reason is why rates are doing what they're doing, it's just going to give you guys another kind of tool in your belt to have conversations with people. Number three ties in a little bit to one and two, but just re-engaging old leads. If you've ever ran meta ads, if you've ever done Google ads, if you ever had a funnel, if you've ever done open houses and you have those sign-in sheets, or you upload a whole bunch of leads into your CRM a while ago, even if they're not past clients, or in your like A's and B's of your database, a simple outreach to some of these people, it's really easy for time to pass and you not realize how many leads are sitting there in your database. We ran a bundle and save campaign on Meta about a year ago, got like 250 leads through it. And some of those people said, oh, yeah, maybe now's not the right time. And although we have them on our drip campaigns and they're getting the emails, we could see when they're clicking and whatnot, going back to them and maybe offering this weekly or monthly housing update can just be a way to re-engage somebody. Let them know that you are real, that you are a person, obviously, and you're not just some automated AI that is reaching out to them. Number four, I'll go back in and answer any questions on any of these and kind of hear your guys' thoughts. So this feels like it's going fast. It's meant to. But number four, open houses. Even if it's another agent's open house, we have that module in the school community on how to sit the perfect open house. If I was a brand new agent and I had to start from scratch, I would do open houses every single weekend. When I first got into real estate, I did do that. I did open houses every single weekend and got my first few clients from that, some of which I still work with today. If you're doing the open house, don't just go through the motions of the open house. Don't show up 10 minutes before the open house starts, throw out or open house signs, have a paper sign-in sheet, and wonder why you're not really getting leads with it. I don't need to kind of reinvent the wheel with what we have built in the school community already, but we walk you through how to circle prospect prior to open house. On some of these other Tuesday trainings, we talked about doing the raffles, doing the espresso bars, catering food, maybe inviting in the neighbors, making it more of an event that you get to promote for yourself. You can use it as circle prospecting, as social media, and there's just no better way to get face to face with leads than at an open house and really just show yourself as a local expert, have the knowledge of what's going on in the market, take what Bill and Tim are saying and give people updates with that, talk about the bundle and save program, things like that.
Kobe, really quick on this one. I don't think we can like overemphasize how important this is because this is the in-person, this is the FaceTime. There's so many different things you can do with your open house, one of the link agent's open houses, or just another agent at another brokerage's open house. So definitely take a look at that module if you haven't. There's different, I mean, it's all laid out for you guys in terms of like how to reach out to other agents, how to secure open houses that are not yours or not part of links. But I mean, what Kobe was referencing, like I know 10 years ago, he met a client that he still works with today that we're about to list one of her homes over in Huntington Beach. Like she's been involved on the link side. She's been a huge asset to him, to us, to Link in general. So it takes that one interaction, that one connection that can turn into so much more. I know it's tough. Like you show up and it's not as popular. It's not as, there's not as much traffic. You kind of feel like you're wasting your time. But at the end of the day, you have to put in that time. You have to be patient with these things. It's a numbers game, it's volume. And one thing that we love to do with our open houses, and I think every agent should do this, I think Elisa's doing it, TJ, you might be doing it as well. But when you have one, whether it's yours or another agent's open house, an hour before you're door knocking every neighbor, you're not doing anything other than personally inviting them to that open house. They're likely not going to come, or they might be nosy. They want to come and see what the neighbor's house looks like. But this is huge for FaceTime. You have a nice flyer, you print them out that has your face on it, a QR code, a breakdown invitation of the actual open, how you're marketing that open house. It's really important. You're kind of like showcasing what you're capable of as an agent, what you're doing to sell this house, even though it's not even your listing. You're going to 20 different neighbors. You're making that kind of face-to-face contact. You're dropping something off. You're not being salesy. You're just saying, hey, I'm here in the neighborhood. I'm local. I wanted to personally invite you to my open house. If they come by and you have a conversation, that's a win. If they just take it and say hello, then that's a win. If you just drop it off, like, it's just a numbers game. 20 to 40 houses before you host your open, I think is very important. Use the link team to create a flyer, an invitation to put all your marketing and brand on it. And it could go a long way.
And doing a raffle. Raffle always helps. People love tequila. We always do a tequila raffle. It's the easiest way we've gotten people to actually sign into the open house. Not to throw you under the bus, TJ, but we were talking to TJ yesterday about his success with getting people to sign in at an open house. And to our own fault, not his. He was asking people at the very end of the tour. And so he had his little sign-in sheet next to the door. And as people were walking out, it was like, hey, do you mind signing in? And people were like, no, I don't really like the house. But if you kind of get in front of that and have it on the way in, and maybe it's for a tequila raffle or a raffle for whatever it is, people are a little bit more inclined to do so. And once again, you're not going to just spam these people with information, but it allows you to put them in your database, follow up with them, put them on the drip campaign, on maybe on the safe search, and stay engaged with them over time. So yeah, sorry, TJ. Uh, number five, motivated sellers. And so this is more of that traditional you're seeing on Instagram, you're seeing on TikTok that you need to go out and call a million expireds or FSBOs or off market. And we have the cash offer system all set into GHO already for you guys. We're going through and we're going to be finding probably a new data source because property radar proved not to be the best when it comes to phone numbers. So we should have a couple of new systems in place for you guys. But even if you're going around and you're finding FSBOs, they're just kind of online or you're talking to somebody, just know that you have Link as well as other investors that we work with as your potential client. And so if you're coming across a deal and the person needs to sell within 7 days or 10 days, or somebody that's kind of in a pinch, and instead of just going out and sending it to some wholesaler or letting them accept an offer from somebody else, you can bring that deal to us. We'll obviously pay you guys a full commission, let you list it on the back end as well. We're doing it with two of our agents right now on two separate deals where they knew a seller that needed to sell right away. We're coming in, either ourselves or one of the investors we work with are purchasing the property, they're going to be flipping it and then relisting it with that agent. So at the end of the day, if you have no clients and you have no idea where to start, you can start with us and some of the investors we work with at the very least. So
Kobe, real quick on this one. Uh, on top of Link being your client, like everyone, please remember that we will always look at any deal. Like Kobe's saying, we have a handful of agents. I mean, we're working with two actively right now. We have a handful of agents that are actively bringing us other deals that we're underwriting, taking a look at. Worst case scenario, if we can't buy it, we want to help train you guys and work with you guys on securing that as a listing. So that is also an outcome, a result of when you talk to some of these distressed sellers. The goal is to get it sold in one way or another. I will say too that we have our agent to an investor program. So outside of just representing Link or another investor as a client, you can actually partner with us on some of these projects. So if it's a flip, if it's a buy and hold, whatever it is, and there's a way to kind of bring you in as a partner. If you have cash to invest, maybe you're rolling commissions in, like there's a few different ways that you could actually get involved. So please know that it kind of goes beyond just representing Link or getting a listing. Like if you'd like to work on projects like flips or buys and holds with us, we're happy to open that up.
yes, 100%. More once again traditional on the real estate side, you're picking kind of a farm and owning it. Chamberlain Real Estate with Josh and Craig, they I think do this better than any of our teams or anybody I've really seen do it. They've been farming Rossmore and Los Al for call it 25, 30 years with monthly mailers. They do a twice a year pie drawing. And so it's apple pie and then cherry pie. And they send mailers out to every single owner within their neighborhoods in Rossmore and Los Al. And every single person wins a pie. But to get the pie, you need to go pick it up from them directly. Everything's gonna be branded to them. Once again, just kind of giving before you're asking for something back. It's just a way that they're staying top of mind. If they don't send out their mailers on time, Josh tells me that they get blown up with calls and texts from people saying, "Hey, like, are you guys not doing the pie drawing this year? I'm really looking for the apple pie." And it's just kind of become a neighborhood staple for them. That is definitely the long game of it. And you don't need to start with 500 homes that you're giving 500 pies to. Even if you're just starting with your 15 or 20 neighbors on each side and the 30 people across from you, you could do that same concept just on a smaller scale and go door knock, introduce yourself as one of the neighbors, say you're doing this raffle, this giveaway, this pie drawing, whatever it is that you want to do as your real estate team, and you wanted to invite them to apply for it, or you wanted to just bring them a pie. Um, then when you're out walking your dog, when you're out doing whatever it is in the neighborhood, you're going to start seeing these people more. Um, Jay Meldman, one of our teams, when he was first getting started, he threw a launch party for himself and he just like invited all of his neighbors and did a little barbecue. And he said, "Hey, I'm getting into real estate, or I'm really excited. I brought on my fifth team member, my 10th team member, whatever it is. So I'm gonna have a little barbecue. You guys are all invited, and we're just gonna have like a little neighborhood barbecue." He had probably 15 or 20 of his neighbors come over. It was a great spot for him to talk about real estate. It was a way to not be super salesy with it. He wasn't trying to pitch them anything. It was just more, I'm in real estate. I'm doing well. I'm excited. I want to share this with other people. So really being local to your area, being able to talk to your neighbors, being able to talk to people in your neighborhood is just, it goes a long way. Even if somebody's not thinking about selling their house ever, if they just moved in the area, uh, they might know somebody that wants to move into that neighborhood, or they might have a family member that wants to move and become neighbors with them. So the more contacts you have, the better. Farming does not need to be this crazy high number of homes that you're trying to door knock and mail to, and it doesn't need to be super expensive either. You can go out and just kind of give away pies or cookies or you name it, whatever it is. Around 4th of July is always obviously a good time. People go and they do little American flags with their business cards on it. You can go do a handful of things. So if you guys have questions about that, let us know. Host an
Hey,
event.
hey, Kobe,
Yes.
real quick, I've got a good one that my clients actually come back for. It's a little bit, so what you do is you'd hook up with a notary
Okay.
and you offer a little, put on a like a cardstock card, really thick one, and make them a VIP and offer them free notary service. Obviously, you're paying for it through your notary, but I'm telling you, I send them out every year and I get probably 5 to 10 call me to use it every year, but it's always different. I didn't actually, I forgot to send them this Christmas, and one of my clients said, "Hey, am I still a VIP?" So if you're wanting something cheap and easy to use, there's a good one.
And what does a notary cost to go notarize? $10, $20, $30?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Is it
that's
really
a,
that cheap? The net
No.
sheets show like $100.
Those are
Yes.
for loan docs. This is like
Oh,
for a one time, they have something they need notarized real quick, kind of that thing.
So you use it specifically for a mobile notary to go to people's homes. And
No,
how
I
many do you,
usually,
this, or do
I
they go
will,
to some place and do it?
it depends on who I use. So if it's somebody that has an office, then they just meet at an office or something.
So do they reach out to you? You mail out these cards. It's a great idea, Brenda Lou, by the way. Great idea. Want to
Yeah.
compliment you. So you mail out this nice card stock that, let me comp you a notary. Get in touch with me or go straight to the notary. How does it
Get
work?
get in touch with me. So it makes that contact and then you set it up.
Great idea.
that is a really, really good idea. I never thought about that.
Dana said in the chat, the more signatures, often more expensive, and mobile notaries generally more. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, it shouldn't run you more than $75, $50, right? Per person.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cheap when you're looking at cost per lead. And do you only send that to people that you've worked with in the past, or do you kind of use that as like a farming tool as well?
I'm actually going to start it as a farming tool. I've only done it to my past clients.
That's
But
great.
why not if you can pick up people like to feel special and you get that VIP service.
No, absolutely, Brendan. I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's right in line with like, I think what every agent, the strategy you should take is just adding value up front. Instead of just like these check-ins, questions, how are you doing? Are you still thinking about moving? Are you still thinking about selling? It's just value add. And I think that's how every agent should frame their follow-ups. Like Kobe and I have worn many hats that we probably shouldn't have worn, but like helping people with inspections, with contractors, with cleaners, with, installers, different things that
Changing batteries.
yeah, yeah. One time I had to drive to Encino to change batteries in a carbon monoxide detector, and it was like a 3 hour drive. Anyway, it's just value add. How do I stay top of mind with something of substance, something of value for the client, because they're going to remember that. They're not just going to remember your check-in or the question, or they might feel like obligated or nuisance to answer that question if it's not a close client. How can I help you with your
That's
property
why I
right
like
now?
these guys because they're willing to go the extra mile.
How can I help you with, I mean, I'm not a rental agent. I've leased a few properties out in the past few years. Do I know what I'm doing? I mean, it's relatively easy, but it's like I'm not a leasing agent. I'm going to figure it out though. I'm going to learn from people, ask people questions. I'm going to make sure I give my client the best possible experience because the goal is to sell that property down the line. And they're going to remember that, hey, he did it pro bono, he did it free of charge for me back, last year. I'm going to list with this guy when the time comes. So just adding value. And if you don't know how to add value, ask your client, how can I help you? Ask that prospect, how can I help? How can I make your life easier? Are you managing a property? Are you, just like coordinating, scheduling, doing things that they might need, roofers, like sewer people, everything that they might need, be that
Sewer
resource.
people,
Sewer people. Yeah, the guy,
not plumbers, sewer people.
I meant like snake. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess a plumber. Sewer people. Yeah, just add value. That's really all it is. And if you don't know how to, ask.
That's great. All right, hosting an event.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, Kobe.
Yeah.
And Andrew, sorry. So I am a notary. I also have a life insurance license. Like, how would I market that? Like, how would you think either of those things would be beneficial on the front end?
One-stop shop. Everything you need. Get your NMLS license too while you're at it. I know, Ryan. I think like make that information accessible. Like if you have I don't know, I mean your website with us, I hope you do.
Yeah,
Your flyers, your like anything, any physical marketing piece, like you should have all of that. These are all of my services. I'd be, telling people that I'd be happy to offer free of charge notary services for you. I like market those services. There's really no value in that if nobody knows that you do those things. It is valuable because you can be that guy. That's why we push our vertical integration. That's why we push, if you're interested in getting your NMLS license, you can be that full service real estate experience for your client. I mean, you are, partially there. Make sure that's part of who you are and how you position yourself on your marketing materials and just in the industry in general. I mean, every agent here can market themselves as a full service real estate, like a one-stop shop, because we have Bill, we have Tim, right? It's in-house link loan officer. We think you should do that no matter what, but you, Ryan, you can go kind of the extra mile. You actually have some of these licenses and certifications, put it on your marketing, door knock with that information. Like if you're dropping off a business card or a flyer, say at the very least, you know what, because you're in the neighborhood, you're in my neighborhood, I'm going to offer you a free notary service, just like what Brenda is talking about.
right.
And then you don't have to pay anybody anything, like how Josh and Craig give the free apple pie drawing. You just say, Happy 4th of July. You get free notary for the next 6 months, or like a free notary that's
Yeah.
redeemable the next 6 months. Instead of having to come out of pocket anything, you are the one that gets to go and you have that conversation when you're sitting down with people. You're going to obviously see what they're notarizing. Like maybe it's something for a divorce, and you're like, oh, what are you going to do with your house? Are you going
Oh
to sell
my
it?
God.
Um,
Talk about that.
you'll be able to have kind of conversations and you're going to be out there. And what's the most important thing is just being face to face with as many people as possible. And so it would be a great thing if 50 people called you and were like, hey, I need a free notary. That's 50 new conversations you get to have. And
Right.
while you're sitting down there, having that 20, 30-minute meeting with them to make sure everything's notarized correctly, just slipping in there that you're in real estate. And obviously they saw the card, so they already know you're in real estate. Or picking a brain about the market and, oh, when you're moving in this neighborhood, I love it here. And seeing wherever that goes. And then just having a conversation and kind of selling yourself and making sure you're knowledgeable and knowing the local market.
Okay.
Ryan, where are you based exactly?
Oh, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in like around Silver Lake area in Los Angeles.
Okay, nice. I mean, definitely a prime market. I would say go local, go very Silver Lake is one of the hottest markets in LA. I know that.
Yeah.
But go local. There's probably a lot of renters in that area, I would think. Bill, I think you live in Echo Park or East LA as well.
Yep.
But still, like branch out a little bit more. Silver Lake is extremely hot, extremely high property value, a lot of renters, but just go local no matter what. Some of these renters might be buying at some point. Offer them free. They might not even know what notary services are. Like explain what that is. Like this might come up. Keep my business card. It'll save you $100, and I'm happy to do it for you just to make the contact.
Yeah.
So yeah, be out and about in your neighborhood. I would say reach out to the link team, just marketing link brokerages or the Krems line, and ask for a flyer. Say, can I start designing a flyer for myself? Your headshot, your contact information, all of your services, links, offerings, like who you are in a nutshell, put it on one flyer. Just start handing it out. The value add right there is free notary services.
Well, and send me your info too, because we can definitely, as long as you're set up to do notarized loan documents and you can with Beth, I can, request that we have you notarize our stuff around here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, do we normally send somebody from Canyon Lake out to LA for you?
No, I think she usually uses a notary service. So,
Okay. Yeah, we use you instead.
I mean, my people are all over the place, but yeah, no, we don't have a regular person, I don't think so.
Ryan, connect with Bill. You should get him your information, and then start putting on your flyers that Bill is the local, like that he's part of your team, LO team. You got real estate financing, real estate sales, notary. I think insurance is that what you said, or what was the other?
Yeah, it's life insurance, so I can
Life
do like
insurance.
like
Shit,
like
put it all. Put it
like for new
all.
home buyers, they can get life insurance and like mortgage redemption and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do a few different networking things around here too. So yeah, hit me up and I'll put you in the loop with what we're doing.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you bet.
Uh,
I didn't realize anybody else was over here in my side of town. So
Yeah, I'm in Glassville actually, right off of San Fernando and Fletcher. So
okay, nice. Yeah, we're just down the street.
yeah.
Okay.
Sue.
Sue's saying wrap this up.
Okay, we got a couple more. I'm going to go on a quick side tangent after or before getting into number seven. I was talking to an agent a year ago, and I don't know why I didn't think of it to throw it in one of these 10 things. But they would advertise free rental placement for people looking to move into an area. And I thought it was such a genius idea because you're getting all these people who are going to be wanting to move to your neighborhood that you will know kind of where they're at financially. You could have them try to get pre-approved or at least have a conversation with the loan officer to see what they can afford. And at the very least, they're going to be moving in, renting in an area, and then hopefully will want to buy a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. If you're helping them with the lease free of charge, and you know it's a 12-month lease, 9 months from now, you're going to follow up with them, or 8 months from that. And it's like, hey, I know you have 3 months left. Are you planning on staying there? Do you want me to reconnect you with Bill or with Tim and see if maybe now's a better time to buy a house? It is a very relatively low lift to send them some rental properties to open some doors for them. But they sometimes can't get into a place if they need super, if they need Century Key, or if they just want to know about the local market. Really easy way that most people don't go after. They're always going after buyers and sellers, not necessarily going after people looking to rent. And so you're going to be face to face with people wanting to move into your area that are future potential buyers, putting the value first. Forgot to put that into one of the 10 things you guys can be doing. Um, Taking to number seven, hosting an event, live, Zoom, whatever it is. If you want to take people down to a brewery, do a happy hour, do an actual event, even if it's an online like webinar, kind of how we do these Tuesday trainings. Pick a topic and talk about it. You guys can talk about rates. You guys talk about mortgages. You guys have Bill and Tim jump on with you guys and do like a first-time home buyer seminar. You guys could do what's new in Carlsbad seminar or webinar. Just getting people who are interested in a real estate and somehow into the door and really making you seem like you're a local presence, a local expert in your field. We have a ton of funnels already built out for you guys that you guys could utilize to help with the webinar registration. We'll walk you through exactly how to do it, how to set up the Zoom, how to set up the webinar, how to make sure it's recorded. That's just great stuff you can post on your social media as well. And say, don't forget this Thursday I have a first-time home buyer webinar. If you've ever even considered buying a house and you want to just kind of see what different programs are out there, I would love to see you guys at Thursday at 5 p.m. Once again, we've done these before. They work well. Give us a call, ask about the best times because we've tried them on like 10 a.m. to 12 and they were absolutely terrible. Nobody ever shows up. You have to do them in the afternoon between like 4 and 6 and just a very low lift way to once again put your name out there.
It also, if you want to do something where you can share the cost with somebody, my son is an estate planner here in California, and he and I are going to bundle up together and do one just talking about estate planning, but getting people there for that. So find somebody to bundle up with so it doesn't cost you everything.
Yeah, and to run a Zoom, obviously free, And if you want to do some advertising to it, you can do it pretty cheaply, especially in your local area. If you guys did a weekly Zoom meeting on first-time homebuyer program or estate planning or whatever it is, and you put a 10 or 15-mile radius around where you're at, and you made a couple videos and or graphics to just constantly promote, and you just had a recurring every Thursday, like you would crush it just on that. Fully believe that. That's a great idea, Brenda. Number 8, I've been seeing this a lot more, and it's probably just because I keep clicking on these people's profiles to see who they are. But just going out, filming nice properties in your area. I'll probably send after this through Krems a couple examples of agents that are doing it really, really well in North County, San Diego. They're saying stuff like, if I had $2 million to buy my dream house in Encinitas, this is the one I would buy. Comment Encinitas, and I'll send you all the information. When people are interacting with that post, it's going to help promote the post even more to your local area, and Meta is going to tie that to other people who share similar demographics and location and interests. And these posts I'm seeing, they're not being promoted at all, and they have 7,000 likes and 500,000 or 50,000 views, and the person has like 600 followers. But they're consistently doing it every single week, and it's just really hitting the algorithm well. It's just a great way to help kind of spread your content you're already going to be posting. That is all done inside of our GHL account as well. So everything I'm telling you guys right now, Link provides also. So don't think you need to go out and learn how to do any of this. You guys can text Krems and say, set up my comment for DM automation to my social media account. We can do that for you. Number 9 and number 10, I won't go too deep into it because we've talked about these quite a bit, but running bundle and save offers, it's something that we have built to help give you guys something to differentiate yourself with, instead of just promoting, hey, I'm a local buyer's agent. You could say, learn how you could save up to 1% on your closing costs when you work with me. Or if you want to save a 0.25% on your interest rate, we can offer free escrow, things like that. Just offering out more of a discount, offering out better service by having everything kind of in-house. Utilize that to your guys' advantage. You guys don't need to go out and offer a discounted commission. Let us take the hit on the costs, be able to go get you guys an extra client. And then on any of these, the easiest way to get a lead in the door, outside of obviously calling your own sphere of influence, is through paid ads. These are all going to be probably a little bit longer of a sales cycle, of course, but if you do have the budget and you do want to get some reps in, you want to have the leads kind of inbound, Meta and Google, jump on with Dylan, text Krems, any of these different programs could be used as an ad as well. If you're going to be doing a live event or you're going to be doing a Zoom, you could run ads around it. If you're going to be promoting local posts, you could run it as an ad just to really generate and kind of kickstart whatever it is you want to be pushing. But I already sent this link in the chat. If you guys want to kind of read through it again, or if you want to reference back to it, one thing I would recommend is not saying, I'm going to do all 10 of these, and don't take this and put it into AI and say, give me an exact day-to-day plan on how I could do all 10 of these things over the next week. Like, pick 1 or 2 that you want to try to run. Jump on a call with me, jump on a call with Dylan. Dylan's on. Hey, Dylan. Jump on a call with one of us, ask how we do it. We'll set it up for you. We'll help train you up on whatever it is that it is you want to do. We could help use AI to make it a little bit faster for you, maybe, and or do some of the heavy lifting. But I would pick 1 or 2 things, try it for a month, and I think you guys would all be surprised at how many conversations it could generate if you actually just tried it every single day. So that went a lot longer than I thought. So any questions or any other ideas that are out there that we're probably missing that you guys kind of use to help
How
generate
many
leads
people
in slow
reached
market?
out to their Hi, good morning, good afternoon. How many
Hi.
people reached out to their clients for Mother's Day? Anybody out there? You guys show of hands. Jamie, did you reach out people for Mother's Day? I actually took a text. I got a list of everybody who I've ever sold to. I got a text and I made it personal for each person. So it was a general text, and then it would be like, oh, and how's Johnny and Susie, your kids, or something. And I had 2 people say, Sue, thanks a lot. You're always reaching out. I didn't ask for real estate. I actually did say, if you know, I did actually put a plug in for asking for real estate actually in the Mother's Day text. But that was something that I did. It took probably 3 or 4 hours. I just sat on my couch and did it. So, but somebody just, I'm glad they said, I really appreciate you always reaching out because at least I know I'm not bothering her.
Yeah, that's good. Any of the holidays, I completely blanked on that. So you should have told me that last Tuesday. Um, but people enjoy that, and they is a way to stay top of mind.
So
And Dylan,
something that's come to,
congratulations.
oh,
Sorry,
sorry,
Dylan, congratulations on your second. Go ahead, Bill.
You're good.
Thank
You're
you.
good, Bill.
Thank you
okay,
very
yeah,
much.
sorry, yeah. So something that's come that just kind of came to my head as we're going through this, and it's like, oh, we've got Brenda Lou's son does life, estate planning, and Ryan does notary. One thing that can really be helpful: talk to your clients, talk to your friends, talk to everybody you know about what they do, and try to connect people with them. If you can bring business to somebody else and you can be a connector, it's pretty powerful. Like, people will think about you when time comes for real estate if you're thinking about them when it comes to whatever it is that they do. So that's just something that's helped me throughout the years, and it's good advice.
Hey,
Yeah,
Kobe, one last quick thing. Sorry, I'm not unmuted. I'm not on screen today. I
that's
see
all
why.
good. There you
Anyways,
are.
Chris and I just sat on a group text. 35% of the homes that have a price drop, I don't know if it was in the US or California, 35% of the homes have had price drops. That's a big percentage if that tells you
That
anything about the market.
we were just looking at, I think last month, 52% of homes were on the market for over 60 days at this point. It was like the highest level in almost 10 years. And so things are definitely sitting, people are dropping the price, and it's still not really making a move. So
I
interesting
have had
market.
crickets on my listing, crickets.
Yeah.
We're I was at an event last week, and this agent specializes in short sales and foreclosures, and is hosting a thing about that. But apparently that's starting to tick up a little bit too. So it might be something for you guys to learn more about, or find a partner who can help negotiate short sale deals and foreclosure deals. I know Adam, who's on today, he's helping me process, but is going to be joining Link as an agent soon as well. He's got a listing that's probably going to need this, and
Yep.
the way it's explained to me is that if you have a good short sale person who can do the negotiation, the agents still get paid their full commission typically, and you can help people get out of it. So
I have done short sales. It is a process.
yeah, no, it's definitely
Long,
not easy.
Yeah.
arduous.
And Sue, just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, I just did a price drop on my listing as well, and it's crickets. So you're definitely not alone out there.
Yeah. Interesting market.
Hey, Kobe.
Very.
Kobe,
Yes.
Chris Wood. I have a really quick question on your investor program.
Yeah.
For your buy and flips, what areas do you have these investors doing that, like buy and flip?
Anywhere and everywhere. So, especially all throughout California. One's up in Petaluma right now in the Bay. One's in Long Beach. We have guys down here in San Diego that do a ton, all the way out to Riverside. One of
Okay.
the guys we work with is buying something in Eureka right now, like
Okay.
way up north. Literally anywhere.
Okay.
Other
Okay.
states as well.
Okay. Just interested in if San Diego and LA area. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Of course. All right. That was kind of a long, rambling meeting, I feel like, but I hope you guys got something good out of it, and really wanted to just be kind of a jump off point for each of you guys. And so, once again, I'm not expecting you guys to go out and try to do all 10 of these things or want to do all 10 of these things, but just wanted to try to give you guys a few different ideas that you guys can be doing. And don't forget, the free rental placement can be another option. That's number 11. That's not on the actual list. But if you guys are reading about any of this and you guys want our help setting something up, don't feel like you need to go research how to build your funnels and how to build a webinar deck, and how to set up the ads. Like, these are all things Link will help provide for you guys and do for you guys, obviously free of charge. So if you guys are going through and you just have some questions, you want to spitball ideas, you want to ask, how can I do X, Y, and Z? That's what we're here for. Me and Craig, Andrew, Dylan, Tyler, anybody. Feel free to reach out, text the Krem's line. We're more than happy to get on a Zoom call, one-on-one, kind of walk you guys through exactly how we would do it and help get it all set up for you. But with that, I'll see you guys all next Tuesday. Unless you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns.
No, but if you have been reading the book, we do have book club on Thursday, and it is great. That book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, it is great. If you are staying in any career for any amount of time, I highly recommend it. I can't stand the author, but